YouTube, what's good with you? How's it going? It's your boy, Love and Liberty, here from Boulder, as always. And, we got some new channel rules to discuss today. And since we're doing a lot about talking about what makes good men, and, we already know good men would never defend a PDF, felon, sexual assaulter, fraud, made out of McDonald's type dude, nor would they ever kneel to them as a king. So in light of that, we're attracting a lot of these hurt boys, a lot of these hurt young men. And they want to come on the channel in the comments and they want to make personal attacks, which is fine. But you got to say it to my face. That's the new rule. The new rule is you don't get to be anonymous and throw mud at me. You can throw mud at me to my face. We can meet up in person as gentlemen, shake hands after we do whatever kind of competition you want to do. And we teach young men a little bit about who these Maga people really are by taking their masks off. Or you can stay anonymous, but you got to talk policy, okay? If you want to hide or you just don't want people to know who you are, you can't throw mud at me on my channel. It's my channel, it's my rules. I don't have time for that. I'm trying to counter the terrible damage done by the weakest and most broken men, polluting our society, poisoning the minds of our young men with the same toxicity some of you are displaying in the comments. And my tendency is to go back and forth with you because I like a competition. I like to go back and forth, but I simply don't have time. And I'm not going to give you the last word on my channel when all you're doing is attacking me personally while you're hiding. Nobody believes you're strong. Nobody believes you lift. Nobody believes you have a woman. Nobody believes you're successful when you're hiding behind types, faceless. We don't believe you. So I'm not going to let that stand, and I'm not going to monitor, I've decided, every back and forth, because just with two of these little creatures who have been, hurt dogs holler, they've been hollering real loud because a lot of what I'm saying, is touching right to their soul. And that's the point of these videos, okay? And the point of this is you are welcome to disagree with me anonymously if you keep it on policy. And I will go back and forth with you on policy, okay? I'll let your comment stand. And I don't have to worry about it being up there for 10 hours while I don't look at my channel. But meanwhile, you're saying some crazy stuff about me you would never say to my face. Nah, that stuff is getting blocked unless you want to hop on a live video or come to Boulder and meet up as gentlemen face to face and say any personal attacks you got to say, you can say to my face. That being said, we're going to talk a lot about alpha and beta on this channel. And just know that those concepts are BS, okay? They don't really mean anything. The only reason that we're addressing them is because they've become so big within Maga. We have the softest, weakest, most unloved, most emotionally broken, dishonest, spineless, all the words, weak, what they would call beta males, okay? We would call on the left broken men who need therapy, who need brotherhood, who need positive, healthy role models who aren't toxic, okay? These dudes have been roped into a group of men who think that hate, mudslinging, name calling, and there is a difference between, the names that Donald Trump has called people. There's a difference between that kind of personal name calling and a gardener calling a weed, or a doctor calling cancer, cancer. When you protect a PDF, and we call you a PDF protector, That's not name calling. That's called, in philosophy, the law of identification. Okay? A equals A. Google that. Go look it up. The law of identity. Okay? A toxic weed is a toxic weed. A cancer cell is a cancer cell. You don't want to be called a toxic weed or a cancer cell as a human. Stop supporting and defending the ideology of toxicity, of hate, of insecurity, of cowardice, of fear, of herd mentality. Okay? And that's basically all I got to say to this video. Is it's short and sweet to say, hey, you MAGA trolls, I'm literally targeting you with these videos that I'm putting out in the keywords, in the metadata. I'm targeting you because I want to talk. I want to talk about what you believe. I want to see who you are. I want to compete with you in a gentlemanly way and show these kids who's who. But if you type anonymously, then we look like we're the same, even though I'm here documenting my work every day, and you could be, you know, like the president of the United States, morbidly obese in a basement, stuffing Cheetos down your face, you know, never had a girlfriend in your entire life, live off your mom and dad, and you're talking to me like we're equals. Nah. Nope. We're taking the masks off, boys, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to do that here. If you want to be anonymous here, you can debate policy all day. You can debate the opposite policies as me. You can tell me my policies are this or that, and I will leave that alone, and I will go back and forth with you. We will debate. You don't have to call into the show. It doesn't have to be a video. But what you're not going to do is tell me who I am, what I am, and pretend about what you are while you're hiding. Nah. That delusional, you know, safe space, fantasy, false reality built on lies, that's what MAGA does. They let these young men create any delusion, like Donald Trump pretending he's strong. You know, like these boys who want to troll me in the comments, like I would dog walk every one of your Republican politicians in anything physical or mental. You don't believe me? Then get them to show up. What can I do? I'm here. I'm not looking for affirmation, validation, or nothing. I'm saying let's compete head to head. You name the terms. Let's go. I'm here. Show up. Okay? So whatever right-wing figure you want, tell them as gentlemen, where we shake hands after whatever we do, to come get this competition because they don't want it. Okay? And men on the left are tired of hearing we're this or that when we are the real men of society. People who want to take care of the whole tribe, people who want equality and justice, love and liberty for all, those are the real men. The men who, in light of, you can say whatever you want about me, and I'm just going to say, yo, brother, I want you to have love and liberty. I'm fighting for you just like I'm fighting for me, for our future kids, for all the disadvantaged kids, for all the advantaged kids. So we can be productive and talk policy, and you can stay anonymous. But if you want to talk about me, you can, but you're going to have to say it to my face. You're going to have to take your little mask off. You're going to have to put on your big boy pants. You're going to have to show everybody who you are because we don't believe you. Okay? We don't believe you're hard. We don't believe you're tough. We don't believe you lift. We don't believe that real men would ever support a PDF. Period. We don't believe that real men would ever support a man who said grab them by the P word and then turn around and get offended at the women on iHip News for using curse words. Okay? That's ridiculous. We don't believe you. So, all right, y'all. That's basically it. And recap one more time. If you are MAGA and you're angry and you want to argue with me, and to do that, you need to tell me what I am and who you are. You know, you need to make it personal. Okay, but you have to say it to my face or your comment's going to be deleted. Okay, I won't block you or ban you until it gets to a certain point, because I want you to see these videos in your feed. These videos are for you, okay? One day we could be brothers, and all it takes is you deciding that you value the golden rule. That's all it takes to be my brother. You value the golden rule, we're brothers, okay? So if you want to make it personal, you're going to have to take your mask off and talk to me face to face. You want to be anonymous and you want to disagree with me all day if you keep it on policy. Talk about this policy is this policy is that. Cool, I got nothing to say. Let's debate policy. That's what we need to do. You can do that I understand I use a pen name because my family has been targeted by these people already, okay? So I understand not wanting to put your DMV information out there, but you don't have to do that to show your face. You don't know my address. You don't know my government name, and I don't know yours if you want to show up and put your face. But if you want to be anonymous because too many people know your face, well, sorry, you're going to have to debate policy. You're not going to be able to come and talk at me sideways in the chat hiding. Okay? That's fair. That's what real men would do. Real men would never serve a PDF. They would never kneel to a king. They would never put billionaires over the common working class of people. And real men would never vote Maga. So anybody who's Maga, I don't believe they're a real man. Come prove me wrong. Come prove me wrong. We'll be here every day. 111, we'll be working out like we do every day. We're going to be talking about this a lot more. I got a lot to talk about on the idea of alpha and beta that Maga uses is completely ridiculous. It's based on a misapplication, a misunderstanding of behavioral science. Okay, they're using terms from a scientific study that they completely misunderstood. So we can say this whole alpha beta talk is absurd, but it's important to them. Okay, so we're speaking their language. They want to talk about who's alpha and beta while they elect nothing but the weak, what they would call the most beta men imaginable. Like, we can't just sit there and not say anything when that happens. That's like if I have a neighbor whose dog uses poops in my yard, okay, every day, and they don't clean it up. Whose responsibility ultimately is it to clean it up? I can look at the poop piling up in my yard that the dog owner is not picking up, and I could be like, I didn't do that. I have nothing to do with that, but it's in my yard, but I didn't do it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Then we all have to live in it, and that's what's happening. Okay, so because they're putting all of this toxic sludge out into society, we have to make these videos. We have to say, it's not going to be like the old days, and it's not going to be like the MAGA cult where you get to pretend you're somebody talking to me, a Marine, among other things, in the chat, all crazy like you would never say to my face. Okay, so I'm like, what do I do with that? Because I want these young men to come on the channel, and I want to hear what they really think. However, I don't have time to go back and forth with like demonic trolls who just want to project their own feelings of rage, insecurity. They need attention. They need somebody to like pay attention to them and validate, their existence. We're trying to ultimately help these young men. So I don't want to just delete their comments. I don't want to block them, but I am going to set some ground rules and say, if you want to make personal attacks, you got to take your mask off. If you want to talk policy, you can be anonymous. Those are the new rules that we're going to go by on the channel. And hopefully, we're targeting these hurt MAGA young men. We want them to see these videos, and they're going to lash out when they have a light shown on the toxicity, the insecurity, the hate, the rage, the mommy daddy issues that lead them to protect a PDF. They're going to lash out. Okay, we expect that. And we want to talk and we want to have a dialogue. But if you're going to be anonymous, and you want to lash out, it's got to be about policies. You can talk about policies all day long in the chat. I'm never going to say, I will go back and forth with you. Okay, but I'm never going to delete your comment or block you from the channel or anything like that. You want to make personal attacks against me and you want to talk about who you are, you're going to have to show your face. You're going to have to, or you can get on a phone call. I will accept a phone call and you can tell me whatever you want on a live phone call or a video feed. But you're not going to post personal stuff about me in the comments and then not show who you are because we don't believe you. Okay? And we're wasting time. Nobody believes that you're tough, that you lift, that you're a real man when you're supporting a PDF. We just assume that you look like Donald Trump, you're wearing makeup, you're hiding in a basement, and you're mad and angry at life, and you just want somebody to give you attention. That's what we assume. So prove us wrong. Let's stop the back and forth, unless you want to go back and forth about policy. Okay? We can do that in the chat. That can be anonymous. Keep it about policy, and we can roll with that. So those are the new channel rules. That's how it's going to be. And with that being said, we will see you guys in an hour to lift some weights and talk more about the Maga whole alpha beta thing, which is, as we've said many times, I'm only going to repeat it one more time. It's a fake concept, okay? But it's their concept. They use it. They believe in it. So we're going to look at it on their terms and talk about how ridiculous it is. All right, y'all. I'll see you in an hour. This is Love and Liberty. Peace.